talk to me. Hey, how's everyone doing tonight? Gonna wait to see if I can get a couple of people to join me. So I'm coming on once again to make a plea. So I've tagged a few people. I'm sorry I was not able to tag everyone. There's a long list and there's too many to tag in this video. But if you can hear the music in the background, yes, it is Sunny and The Sunliners, and I know most of you will recognize it. And the reason for tonight's post is because a couple of weeks ago we lost someone near and dear to the Tejano industry, which is Jay Pettis. Look at me, Jay Johnson. And he was, most of the time when you mentioned his name, you knew exactly who you were talking about. And he had a lot of friends in the industry. He was, I want to say an icon, but I don't know about that word. I don't know if that's the right word. He was in the industry at a time that was epic, I think I'll say. He was in the industry at a time that was epic for Tejano music, whether it be English or Spanish vocals. But I think there are many things about Jay that made him who he was for many of us as a Tejano legend. The fact that he was part of Sunny and The Sunliners, and his role as a part of the Sunny and The Sunliners from back in that time frame. The fact that he was the only Caucasian as a part of Tejano music back in those days. And if you consider the time frame and what that meant for the races to be mixing, and it was almost a match made in heaven is what I want to compare it to, because the sounds that were made back in those days still stand strong today for many generations. And it automatically transforms you into that time when they were first created. So I'm going to probably cry, so I must apologize for that. So the reason for today's post is this. I don't know if any of you guys who were in the industry back then, who are in the industry now, ever wonder what will happen if the family comes across hard times at the time of our own death. You know, what will become of our families? What will become of our belongings? Of us? Have we written down what we wanted? Have we expressed to our loved ones what we want done with our body, with our possessions? Who's going to pay for it? Do we leave money to take care of that? Are those arrangements already made and paid for? Those are all things that we know that someday we're all going to have to face. But sometimes, because it is a difficult discussion, we don't always have those discussions. But it is certainly something that's important to everyone, that they be discussed. And why is this important today, and why am I bringing this up now? The reason is that when Jay passed, he was not in the best of situations. And yes, he has children. And I don't want to go into that because I don't know the status of what's going on with them. The only part that I know now is that Jay is sitting in a funeral home with no way to come home. And what I mean by that is that he has been cremated, and the funeral home will not release his remains because the family cannot come up with the money to pay for those remains to come home. So I've actually been in contact with someone in the family, and she's going through difficult times. She has her own family, And as you know, all of us become across hard times, and sometimes we need a helping hand. Especially even when you know that someone in the family is sick, you never really are prepared for everything that's involved, and kind of takes you for a whim. And so if there are anyone who is watching this video right now live, if there's anyone, what I'd like to see is if there's any way that we could probably put this $1,200 together to bring Jay home. And what I mean by home is at least to their loved ones. What is planned from that point about what to do with his ashes and his remains, I'm not sure at this point. But I think it would be a sad, sad day in the life of Tejano music to let one of our loved ones, someone who was iconic in the Tejano industry, to stay there and kind of lost in limbo. I think that I don't want to pull at everybody's heartstrings about what we have and what we take advantage, you know, how much we spend on food and when we go out and things like that. But I almost kind of feel like sometimes we need to be reminded about those things, you know, when we go out and how much we spend. And maybe sometimes we need a little reminder about how we could probably sacrifice $10 to bring him home. And I think that there are so many of you who would probably be heartbroken to know that one of our people is left in limbo. Because I think the fact that he's sitting there waiting to come home is in fact a limbo. So, I told the daughter that I would help out wherever I could. And the way I'm trying to help out is by getting the message to all of you. Because the only way that we can do this is by coming together. So if you'd like to donate something so that we can bring Jay home, reach out to me. If you can afford $5 is great. If you can do 10, then that is great as well. Whatever it is that you think that you can bear to part with would be greatly appreciated so that we can bring Jay home. I think this would be a great final tribute to a man who gave so much in friendship and in music, and a way to remember him for many years to come. So once again, you can reach out to me here on this post, or if you want, you can do it privately. I have all different forms of way that you could send money. What I'd like to ideally do is get in touch with the funeral home directly and make payment to the funeral home for Jay's remains. At this point, this is all the information I have. I need to find out exactly what funeral home he's at, if that's what you're wondering, if that is a question that you have. I'll see what I can do to find that information. If you don't need that information and want to donate, please do so. Again, I think this would be a great way to show our love and how much we appreciate his friendship and everything that he's meant to us to all these years. All right, guys. Thanks again, and I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.